Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Q&A draft stream where I basically look at your drafts and we discuss and we talk about it at length. Welcome, Shubharan, Kanav, Rohan. Welcome, and everyone else also who's watching in the chat. Welcome. If you are new, hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. I think we're currently on. I know it shows 789 on screen, but I think we're currently on like 796 or something in terms of like um subscribers. So if we can get to 800 before the season starts, that would be amazing. Let your friends know, let anyone you know who plays in your family, anyone, let them know about the channel. Let's try and get to 800 subscribers. Freddy, welcome as well. Now, I'm going to bring all of your drafts up. But before that, I'll just showcase mine. Now, I think this was the draft. No. I had this as a. This was not exactly the draft I showed you guys last stream. I did make a few changes. However, this is not the draft at the moment. Um, I a couple of hours ago I built another draft, which now looks a bit like this, with a lot of things up in the air. I would say in terms of I'll I'll walk through it. In goal, I've got Miguel and Henderson, both from Crystal Palace and Forest in terms of goalkeepers, rotating goalkeepers in goal. In defense, I've got Dan Burn, Pedro Porro, Fonsa from Liverpool, Robinson from Fulham, and Harwood Bellis from Southampton. In midfield, I've got Salah, Jacob Murphy from Newcastle, Jacob Minte from Brighton, Bruno Fernandes from United, and Nkunku from Chelsea. And up front, we've got Haaland, Isak, and Edouard from Crystal Palace, obviously. So this is the team at the moment with 0.5 in the bank. From this team, the only locked players when I created this draft was Haaland, Isak, Nkunku, and Mo Salah. Those were the 4 locked players I had. I started the draft with those 4 players and built the rest around it. Goalkeepers also, I think I might actually say I'm kind of pretty locked at the moment. I don't see much upside in the goalkeepers at the moment. So I'm just happy to do rotating goalkeepers. My main structure and planning was first 8 game weeks. Basically, first 8 game weeks, I can wildcard anywhere 6, 7, or 8. I don't know. I could wildcard in anywhere 6, 7, or 8. But first 8 game weeks was kind of the target. Based on that is what I've selected the team, especially the defense. I've tried to look into whether they'll rotate and all. So I've got Newcastle, Spurs, Liverpool, Southampton, and Fulham. So if I was to go Newcastle, Spurs, Southampton, Liverpool, and Fulham, as you can see, I kind of have options for at least for the first 3. I'm okay. So I'll start the Liverpool, Southampton, and Spurs. I can go then to Liverpool, Spurs, and I probably might go Fulham in Robinson. Combe, welcome. Freddy, welcome as well. I'll keep Robinson for Ipswich as well. I'll probably play Harwood Bellis against Brentford. And come game week 3, I think Porro might have left the team, potentially. And I might look to bring in someone else, potentially. Or yeah, I probably might look, because 2 game weeks I won't play Porro for these 2 game weeks. Unless I bench Porro and I play Harwood Bellis, I play Robinson. No, I might sell Porro, potentially, yeah, for 2 game weeks. So whoever comes in for that 2 game, like that stretch, will be the 3rd defender. And then obviously game week 4, I've got my potential 3 defenders, or whoever I bring in for Porro instead is the plan. That's how my defense is like looking to rotate. So hopefully that makes sense. So game week 3 is when I'm looking at my first transfer, potentially in defense, assuming nothing goes wrong in midfield and attack. So I'll look like this in game week 1, where I could potentially start Edouard over Minte. I don't mind starting Edouard over Minte. And honestly, I'm still not locked to these positions as well, to be honest. things could change. Like I said, only 4 places locked for the moment. Nkunku, Isak, Haaland, and Salah are the only 4 spots that are locked. Defense, there are a few things that could potentially change as well, maybe. But game week 1, something like this. Game week 2, Robinson comes in. Dan Burn goes to the bench, like I said. Minte comes to the bench. Edward will start instead. Game week 3, team remains the same, except for Pedro Porro, who will move out. For potentially, it could be Josko Guardiol at 6 million. Or will there be anyone else that I would want? Could be Konsa. I could actually get Konsa if Konsa is starting then. Konsa hasn't had preseason yet, which is why I've come off Konsa. Because no preseason, I didn't want to rush into it. And Aston Villa have actually had a very shocking preseason. They've lost the last 3 games in preseason. So I didn't want to go into Aston Villa assets just yet because of that. So maybe Konsa could be someone I look to get in here, or even Ian Matteson if Ian Matteson is playing games. I have the money, so anyone from there could be an option for those next like Aston Villa option. I could also look at Chelsea if we think the new keeper makes a huge difference to their lineup in terms of defensive clean sheets. Then maybe I could look at Chelsea. I could look at Ipswich in terms of Leif Davis as an option for Pedro Porro. Or I could, like I said, Guardiola, but obviously Arsenal and Newcastle not great. Anyone else that's popping out? No one else, to be honest. So those are the only couple options. Ipswich, Villa, or Chelsea. Those are the 3 teams I might look, and maybe City for Pedro Porro replacements. Or I'm only those 3 for the moment is what I'm thinking. Unless, and there are a few doubts in this lineup in terms of, let's say for example, Kwanzaa is a slight problem. I would have loved to have resolved the Trippier problem if Trippier had left by now before the season starts and get like Livramento in, because I do think Lloyd Kelly, who just played his 45 minutes for Newcastle just in the last preseason game, Lloyd Kelly could be an issue as well. So I need to be careful with Dan Burn in there, to be honest. And I don't mind looking for a different defender, but the fixtures are there. And Dan Burn did start. Did he start? Dan Burn didn't start. But I think he came on. Yeah, he came on. So I need to be careful with Newcastle defense. Would like to have, I don't know, Livramento maybe as an option. So we'll have to watch that and see. Minte can change. Jacob Murphy, I've gone with him over Anthony Gordon just because no preseason for Anthony Gordon, plus rumors circulating. Although now the rumors are that he's going to sign a new contract. Just didn't want to really go there per se. This could be Callum Hudson-Odoi. This could also really, if I really wanted to go on a punt, could be an Oscar Bob, who is having an incredible preseason, you know. Oscar Bob is not a bad choice for like the first 2 game weeks as well. Instead of Minte, I could probably go Oscar Bob and then go Minte. Because like, you know, look at Brighton, their opening 3 fixtures aren't great. Actually, Brighton in general, the only reason I'm going for Minte is because I think Brighton will be an attacking team. Defensively, I'm not fully certain. I don't think defensively they'll be good, but attacking, I think I've seen enough highlights from Minte that he looks like a nice, good player. Lewis Hall, I was thinking as well about Lewis Hall, but do you think Lewis Hall is pictured here as a left back, but will it be Lewis Hall? Will it be Dan Burn? I have no idea. It could also be Lewis Hall. I mean, this is the one problem I have with like Newcastle in terms of trying to figure out who's going to play that left back spot. If it's Lewis Hall, then I don't mind playing him as well. Kind of uncertain with that Newcastle defensive spot for the moment. So yeah, I have to wait and see. With this Liverpool. So I'm not tied down to it. So Burn, Minte, Kwanzaa could also be someone else, to be honest. But I'm happy to try Kwanzaa because he's played for Liverpool. His minutes for Liverpool have been good in preseason. So I'm happy to play Kwanzaa. I think he'll get games. What do you guys think? Let me know if you guys think I'm like it's too much of a punt on Kwanzaa. Jacob Murphy has had a good preseason, so I think I'm okay with him. Bruno Fernandes is there as a 8.5 million placeholder. Could be someone else as well, maybe. If I go for, let's say I go for Ahmad instead of Minte, I can make this a 9 million spot. Or I can make this a 6.5 million midfielder like Kulusevski. And maybe improve Jacob Murphy as well to Anthony Gordon. So there are a few options available in terms of midfield, in terms of how I could structure it. I don't really want to have two 5.5s. But yeah, few things to kind of consider is what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think about this. Combe says, hi Ryan and chat, I haven't changed anything about my draft, but I'm more than certain that Muniz will be making his way back in for sure. Here's a question for you, Combe, because I was thinking about, I mean, I could go Muniz as well. Instead of Edward, I could upgrade with the 0.5. I can upgrade Edward to Muniz, but I would like to have the 0.5 just in case. Do you think Muniz is going to be the penalty taker, or is it going to be Andreas as penalty taker? Who do you think for like Fulham? And the only thing I haven't started with Muniz just yet because they've had only one preseason game. Have they had only one preseason game? Only one that I could find. But Robinson was pretty good in it apparently, so that's why I've got Robinson. But yeah, as a West Ham fan, I'm very excited about all our signings. Yes, a certain Fulkrug. Maybe now I can actually select a West Ham striker instead of having like Antonio and Danny Ings. Fulkrug looks like he's going to be signing for West Ham. Will be a very interesting one to have a look at. Hoping we get Wan-Bissaka on top of it. I can't believe you guys are getting Wan-Bissaka for like that cheap. He's one of the best 1v1 defenders as well. So that'll be a really good signing. Kanav, Kanav's team is also there. What about Hall? Amit, welcome. How are you doing? All right, Kanav, before I go to your team, let me go to the teams that was sent to me first, and then we'll go to your team. Let me know what you guys think about this draft as well. I'm happy to kind of tinker with it a bit more. There are obviously a few more preseason games to go. So we'll be discussing, we'll have a couple more live streams as well this week. Tomorrow we'll have another live stream with the FPL SideNet boys. So basically FPL SideNet, Pete from the FPL SideNet podcast, and Andrew as well, his co-host from the FPL SideNet podcast. Tomorrow 9 p.m. Sydney time, we'll do a live stream. It's basically a podcast stream tomorrow. And then potentially on Friday, I might have another guest, although I have to get a confirmation on that guest. So once I do, I will let you guys know about that as well. And then I think possibly we might do one on Saturday as well in terms of a stream. So that's the content live streams at least for this week. So just to keep you guys up to date in terms of what's happening in terms of content and when you can ask questions. All right, let's start with the teams I have up for the moment, and then we'll go to the teams like we'll go to Kanav's team, and I've on Freddy. You've also sent me a team, so I'll bring yours as well. This first one, actually, these first two were from Dom. So Dom basically had two teams. Can you rate my team? Yes, I will bring yours as well, Amit. So Dom had two teams. Flecken, Saliba, Guardiola, Pedro Porro, Palmer, Gordon, Mo Salah, Eze, Joe Pedro, Watkins, Isak, Turner, Burn, Harry Winks, and Harwood Bellis. And the second team was instead of Salah, okay, three spots have changed, as you can see. So Flecken, Pedro Porro, and Mo Salah in the first draft. The second one has Phil Foden, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Pickford. The rest kind of remains the same. Now, obviously, Dom is not on stream, but because he's traveling. But he said he'll watch the stream back later, so I'm gonna give his comments first. So, I would probably look at changing Joe Pedro to someone else. If you're looking for a 5.5, this is what I've gone for Edward, because he will play with Mateta at the Olympics and coming back late. So Edward will start at least for Crystal Palace, and he's had a good preseason so far. So I'm happy to go with Edward. For a 5.5 over Joe Pedro right now, to be honest. Watkins and Isak, I don't mind. I don't know if he's still going to be on Watkins and Isak, to be honest. Let's see. I don't know what his ideas are with regards to no Haaland or Haaland. Haaland has just scored a hat trick against Chelsea, who he plays in game week 1. I think Haaland is still going to be a really good option. Palmer, Gordon, and Eze, and Harry Winks as well. Salah is good. I don't mind Salah. Palmer, Gordon, Eze, and Harry Winks. Now, the one problem I have with Palmer, Gordon, and Eze is they're joining preseason late. So I'm not fully certain how fit they're going to be fully, or how fresh, you could also say, they're going to be. That's the one slight issue that I have with those players. I would probably prefer using the money on Palmer into a City attacker instead, potentially. Defense, Saliba, Guardiola, and Pedro Porro, I actually don't mind, alongside Dan Burn and Howard Bellis. Don't really mind that. Goalkeepers, Flecken and Turner. I think Turner, you might have to look into. I don't think he's going to be Forest's key. I don't think he's Forest first choice goalkeeper. I still don't think so. So you might need to look into changing that. Defense, I actually don't mind. In this second draft, I probably wouldn't go without both Salah and Haaland. I would try to have at least one of them. Is what I'm thinking. Thoughts? Let me know, guys. On these 2 drafts that you've just seen. Probably Pereira. Sasalukic took a penalty behind the closed door friendly in a 6-1 win against Watford. Muniz was fouled to win the penalty. That's the only thing. Fair enough. I think I will get to Muniz eventually. I want to see how Fulham, with their new midfield, how they do. Very interesting team. So let me know your thoughts on these 2. I would probably look at getting a City attacker. Palmer, I don't think you need to rush into Palmer just yet, is what I'm thinking. And I probably wouldn't have Joao Pedro. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have Joao Pedro. And maybe switch Turner as goalkeeper, because I don't think he's going to be Forest's first choice goalkeeper. That's basically it from my point of view. So let me know what you guys think about that. This second draft I probably wouldn't do. Lacking 2 expensive premiums is a bit of a worry for me, is what I think. Now, this next one was from an FPL Oz community member, FPL West Ham Demo, who is the co-host of the FPL Amateurs of Oz podcast with Q, who may or may not be in stream as well. Q also sent his team, so we'll have a look. But this is his co-host team with a bench boost in game week 1 with a potentially an early wild card, potentially early wild card. So we've got Flecken, Guardiola, Trent, Saliba, Pedro Porro, and Kwanzaa in terms of defense. Areola on the bench as well. He's got Kudus, Saka, Gordon, Eze, Hudson-Odoi in midfield, Havertz, Watkins, and Isak. This is a game week 1 bench boost. And Kudus is there because he's a West Ham fan. I wouldn't mind Kudus against Villa, to be honest. Game week 1, not too bad actually. What do you guys think? Game week 1 bench boost. Slightly different to our normal ones that we're kind of seeing. I actually don't mind this. I actually don't mind it, to be honest. I'm a bit uncertain on the whole Saka, how fitness related. Everyone else, I actually don't mind too much. Would you go with a Liverpool attacker? Maybe an Oscar Bob over Hudson-Odoi potentially. If you're going game week 1 bench boost with an early wild card, is it worth trying Oscar Bob against Chelsea after they've just scored 4 against Chelsea in preseason? Something to kind of consider is what I'm thinking. But Hudson-Odoi is also not too bad, I guess. Anyone with any comments? Let me know in the comments on this one. Slightly different compared to the one that we usually see. Full crew being announced by the club today, and Guido Rodriguez will be today or tomorrow as well. Ooh, West Ham making moves. West Ham making moves. And while we have this team on screen, let's start with Kanav. Kanav, you've basically gone with your team in terms of Haaland, Watkins as the forward options, and Fraser from Wolves as the third option. I actually should bring the minutes up of these players from preseason. Let me bring the FPL minutes preseason tracker. So Wolves, Fraser, how many minutes has he got? Is this Nathan Fraser? Kanav at 4.5 million? Or is it someone else that I'm looking at? Let me know. Yeah, it's Fraser, right? He hasn't had any preseason minutes. So you're going without a third striker. I guess that's not too bad, depending on what your plan is, to be honest. Then the mids are Salah, Bruno, Gordon, Eze, and your Molik. I'm definitely butchering that name. I am definitely butchering that name. Who is the fifth midfielder, Kanav? Who is the fifth midfielder? And then defense, he's got Martinez, Branthwaite, Konsa, Anderson, and Harwood Bellis. Martinez, is that the Manchester United Martinez? Or goalkeepers are Aston Villa Martinez and Turner. I think defense. I don't know if Branthwaite still hasn't played in preseason. That's one thing to kind of keep an eye out for. So I'll probably go for Mikalenko, potentially, kind of. Karan, how are you doing? Welcome. Plowboy, welcome as well. I've seen your comments as well. So I'll probably go for someone else instead of Branthwaite, kind of. And Martinez as Aston Villa goalkeeper, I don't really mind. Then it doesn't matter like what your second keeper too much is. That's the only one thing. I don't know who your fifth midfielder is. That's the only problem. Then Amit, is your team is up next. And then Plowby said, can't understand bench boost one when you're limited to a single game week and a team value of 100 million. True. But I've seen some people have like played bench boost one. They've had a really good start. They got about 20 points in the bench boost. And then they don't have to think about the chip. I mean, there are merits to bench boost one, especially this season. If we think there are going to be less double game weeks, there are going to be less big game weeks, stuff like that. Then actually I don't mind a bench boost one game week, to be honest. I'm not too against it. I still probably wouldn't do it myself. But I don't mind it. Just because if you look into the effects like less doubles and whatnot, I would still most likely save it for a double, not in myself. And I would still hate it because I'll go like this bench. I'm not going to get a good bench boost score. And I would have most likely gotten a better score elsewhere when I never played my bench boost on my bench. But yeah, it is what it is. Amit's team, it's Kulu. Oh, okay. Then that makes more sense. Okay, I don't mind that actually. Best realistic defense for Haaland plus Salah draft. I don't. Maybe we'll see. In the drafts we're looking, we'll see if we can find a good defense. Rodriguez on a free as well is always nice seeing he was linked to Barca. Fair enough. Is this Rodriguez, Connor? Is this the Switzerland Rodriguez? The left back, if I'm not mistaken? Or is it right back? The Swiss Rodriguez, right? Rate my draft in your mini league if you can. I can't bring your team up in the mini league at the moment, Karan. You're gonna have to send me a screenshot. Cause they won't show me. It won't show me anyone's like drafts until the season starts. So you're gonna have to send me a screenshot, Karan. All right, let's go to Amit. In terms of teams, Amit has basically got, this is in the chat by the way, Henderson and Fabianski. In goal, Livramento, Guardiola, Mikalenko, Barco, and Ben Johnson from Ipswich. Saka, Salah, Kulusevski, Rogers, and Nkunku. Haaland, Isak, and Stewart. Is that Armstrong? No, that's not Armstrong. What am I talking? That's Adam Armstrong. Who is Stewart? Who is Stewart? Guys, I'm gonna struggle with these like names. 4.5 million forward. Ah, I would potentially, if you guys are looking for a 4.5, I would keep an eye out. Was it Ipswich? I think it was. Or was it Ipswich? Or it must have been Delap who got minutes. Or was it Ladapo? I think I might keep an eye out for this guy. Let me confirm. Give me a second. Because I think Ipswich George Hurst is injured for the moment. So there is a possibility that this guy could get some minutes. Let me have a look. No, I'm looking at the wrong team. I'm looking at Leicester. 4.5. Yeah. Have a look at this guy. He could get a few minutes off the bench. Stuart not played any minutes in preseason. Yes, there you go. You might have to switch that, Amit. I would look at the Ipswich striker. He could get some minutes because Hurst is, I think he picked up a knock or something. So because of that, I believe the guy who will play forward for the moment, at least for Ipswich, would probably be Liam Delap. So off the bench, there's a chance that this guy could come on. So if you really want someone who's going to play you minutes, at least some minutes as a 4.5, I don't mind this guy. For anyone who's looking for a 4.5 player. Same thing with, I think, Fraser from Wolves, who hasn't played any preseason minutes. So for anyone who has that, like that 4.5 forward, not a bad option. Just don't expect anything except for maybe 1 point, what I would say. Okay. So that's Amit. The rest of the team, actually don't mind the rest of the team. Livramento, this is the thing that I'm still uncertain about, like Newcastle. Do we think Livramento holds that spot, or do we think Trippier comes in? Because Livramento has been playing in preseason. Need to see what happens to Trippier, man. Trippier is so many uncertainty among the Trippier spot is stopping me as if I'm going for Livramento. So keep an eye out for that news, Amit. But the rest of the defense, I don't mind, to be honest. And midfield also, I don't mind. Looks pretty good. Midfield, Kulusevski, I like as well. Haaland, Isak as well is completely fine. I like Callum Hudson-Odoi, but haven't Forest just bought a new Portuguese winger? Forest are just buying a lot of players. I can't keep track. So I probably might. I'm a bit. The reason I don't have Callum Hudson-Odoi is just because like there are better players at the same price range. Like there are players from the from better teams at the same price range, which is why I've kind of avoided Callum Hudson-Odoi. So, for example, you can get. You probably sort this by percentage, Rogers is not too bad, but over him, I do prefer. Where is Jacob Murphy? I do like Jacob Murphy at 5.5. Who else? Minte is also not too bad, who I don't have in here. But Jakob Minte, also at 5.5, is not too bad. That I think about it. You can go for punts. Like, I think Ahmad will start the season as well, to be honest. So I don't mind Ahmad as well. I don't think he's going to have compression for the start. So he will start as well on the right wing. He's been United's best player in preseason, so I'll prefer Ahmad as well. Rogers, Ahmad, Minte, Jacob Murphy, all of these are 5.5 options that I kind of slightly prefer over Anderson. I mean, at Callum Hudson-Odoi at the moment. That's probably personally just me. But let me know if I'm slightly wrong about that. Let me know what you guys think about that. Argentina midfielder, and Steven also has sent his draft. He's rate my team, so we'll have a look at that as well. Joseph, welcome. How are you doing? Keep an eye on Kwanzaa. Could be a cheap way into the Liverpool defense. You think? You meet Robinson? Joseph, now that because you're joining late, so you missed my early start. Meet my latest draft. Let me know what you think. FPL MFZ, I'm late, Ryan. Really? Nah, don't worry. We're here for a long time. Welcome. Honestly, I'm avoiding Villa defense as now. Villa defense as of now. Yeah, I don't like that they've lost the last 3 preseason games for some reason. Livramento can be Robinson or Hall or Burn. That's true. I don't mind that as well. I was a bit initially. I thought Robinson was 5 million, and then I saw him at 4.5. I was like, oh, this is actually not too bad. I like Robinson as a fullback. So yeah. Q, welcome back to the chaos. Yes, Q, welcome. How are you doing? Q, we have your team up as well. I'll bring your team up as well. But this was Q's co-host demo, and his Game Week 1 bench boost, potential bench boost with an early wildcard. Thoughts on Jota and Kwanzaa? Well, Kwanzaa, I have high hopes at the moment just because I've seen his preseason minutes and they are pretty decent. I can actually read his preseason minutes for you guys. So preseason from Kwanzaa, he's had 45 minutes in the first game, 63 minutes in the second game, 71 minutes in the third game, and 65 minutes against United in the fourth game. They have a game against Sevilla on the 11th of August, which is a Sunday, so we'll get to know more. So if he starts that as well, I'm happy to have Kwanzaa to start. Jota, I actually don't mind Jota. The only reason I don't have Jota is I'm still uncertain who's gonna. I feel like Liverpool have options. I just don't know who's gonna be playing those options. Like in that midfield, like striker spot, like Darwin, Jota, Gakpo, Luis Diaz, like the striker, the left wing. I'm still kind of uncertain on that bit, which is why I don't have Jota at the moment. So that's why I have Salah and no other Liverpool attacker. Actually, talking about Liverpool attackers, I actually don't mind Harvey Elliott, although minutes are a slight problem. I think Harvey Elliott will start. Had a really good preseason. And if he continues to get pretty good minutes, I think he could be a really nice gem. The only problem is minutes are not certain. That's what I'm kind of worried about. Rohan, welcome. Sent my team on Discord. Alright, I'll bring it up as well. I should move through these teams as well. Okay. Who was this? Steven, I will come to your team soon. Let me quickly go to the next one that was shared to me. This one was shared by on Twitter or on X. This was shared by Rohan. I've seen your team as well. That has just arrived. This was shared by this is from Brett. FPL Shake and Bake on Twitter. So basically, Pope, Ben White, Pedro Porro, Ian Madison, Szoboszlai, Mbeumo, Mitoma, San, Solanke, Haaland, Isak. Slightly different draft. Bergwall, keep an eye out. This kid is doing stuff. He's cooking. He's cooking, like they say. He's doing well for Spurs in preseason. Keep an eye out. Could be a really good option. It's only a matter of time before I feel like he starts in Spurs' starting 11. Barco, Richards, and Lumley. I have no idea who that is. Southampton keeper. Okay. I'm assuming because Pope is there, he's not going to rotate goalkeepers. The only thing that I don't really like with this draft too much, one being Solanke, I have a bit of a problem in terms of he's strongly linked to Spurs, Solanke. So you could be in a situation where he suddenly switches teams. Might be good for you, but also, I don't know, that's a bit of a slight worry. If the move gets done before the season starts, then okay. I still don't like Bournemouth's fixtures at the start as well, to be honest. Midfield. I would like a Liverpool attacker. Oh, you have Szoboszlai actually. That's fine. Szoboszlai is fine. Mitoma should be good. Heung-min Son I like as well. Boomo does Boomer things. I think the start for Brentford is a bit annoying. Brentford's opening set of fixtures is a bit annoying, so I probably might avoid Boomo. Brett, but I don't mind the rest of the others. To be honest, Boomo and Solanke, I'm a bit worried about. Defense, I mean, it is what it is. It looks pretty good. Arsenal's fixtures are tough, but you never know. They could keep clean sheets, and even through the tough fixtures, they could keep clean sheets. There could be an option. Rest of the defense, I actually don't mind. But yeah, just Boomer and Solanke is what I'm slightly worried about. Sevilla play Fulham tonight at 8 p.m. in 6.5 hours time. So we'll know more information. I guess Solanke's after Spurs was not in squad last. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So I'll be a bit worried if the move gets done before the season start. If Solanke gets into Spurs, so tempting. How much is he? How much is Solanke? It immediately makes him a better FPL asset. 7.5. That is tempting. But maybe it's best we wait and see how he integrates with the Spurs team. But yeah, very tempting if he gets into the Spurs team. Alright, so that's Brett's. Let's move to Steven, who had this question in the chat. Then I'll bring up Q's. I have Rohan's team, and I have Connor's team, and FPL Freddy's team as well. MFZ, let me know if I should bring your team up as well. You sent it to me in messages. Let me know if I should bring it up as well. Alright, Steven, hope you're still here. Watkins, Isak, and Solanke up front with Palmer, Foden, Gordon, Bowen, Harry Winks, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Barco, Faze, Pickford, and the other goalkeeper, who I don't know which team he belongs to. Oh, I don't know. Foden's not going to start the season. I'll tell you that now itself. He's not playing. He's not starting game week 1. So I would probably remove Foden and replace with someone else. How much money in the bank do you have? I think you have quite a lot of money, potentially. White, Saliba, and Gabriel. No, I wouldn't go with triple Arsenal defense, especially given their opening fixtures. I would avoid triple Arsenal defense. I would switch that out. Solanke, same thing I said as for Brett as well. Transfer speculation doesn't help in terms of moves. So slightly avoid that until the move is settled. Foden also not going to start game week 1. Those are the basic stuff that I would say for the moment. Having said that, is Sancho worth after Eric Ten Hag's comments playing him as a striker? No. There's a high chance that Sancho could still get sold to a PSG. So I would avoid Sancho. I think Bruno Fernandes has a higher chance of playing false 9. But we'll know, right? We'll see. The Community Shield will be this. Is Community Shield on Friday? The Community Shield on Friday? Yes. No, it's on Saturday. So we'll get to know what the lineup will be like. But I wouldn't go for Sancho. I'll avoid. Having said that, next up, we've got Q. And you can tell Q is a United fan because he has Onana in goal. Onana, Pedro Porro, Livramento, Malo Gusto. Q, are you still fully certain that you want Chelsea defense after the smacking that they've received in the preseason games? Pedro Porro, Livramento, Malo Gusto, Wout Faze, and Leif Davis in defense. Brennan Johnson, which I like. Salah, Eze, Nkunku, and Mav Dididi, who's having a pretty decent preseason for Leicester as well. Muniz, Isak, and Haaland. Muniz has actually made the team, yes. And then Fabianski in goal as well. What would I change? Malo Gusto, probably the only one. I'm still uncertain on Chelsea defense. That's probably it. How much is Mav? I'm definitely butchering his name. How much is he? Leicester. Oh, he's 5.5. Oh, not too bad. Slightly. What are the fixtures? Opening fixtures I know for Leicester are a bit tricky. Yes. Are you sure you want this guy as your opening couple fixtures? Flashy slash Xerxes will play up top. Probably. It's Guardiola, Augusto. Wait, you have money to go for Guardiola and you're not going for Guardiola. I think you should probably go for Guardiola. Am I next bedtime already? I will bring yours up. I think you should probably go for Guardiola over Malagusto. Honestly. Alright, I'm gonna bring the next set of teams up as well. This one. But yeah, the rest I actually don't mind. Muniz is Q's captain. No, he's not captaining Muniz at the opening fixture of the Premier League against Manchester United. I can tell you that now he's not going to do it. This one is from Karan, who's in the chat. And this one is from FPL Freddy. And on top of that, I also have Rohan. Rohan's team. And I have Connor, whose team I've just seen. This is Connor's team. And I think I have FPL MFZ. Can you let me know if you want me to bring your team up as well? Love that Porro and Johnson pick. I actually don't mind Pedro Porro and Johnson. Honestly, don't mind Pedro Porro and Johnson. My other draft with Guardiola has Hudson and Minte. Is it both Hudson Odoi and Minte or just one of the two? Guardiola is paired with Odoi or Minte. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't mind actually that. I actually prefer that probably over Gusto. Anyways, we have Pete on tomorrow. As a Chelsea fan, Pete will be able to tell us whether you should be going for Gusto or not. So we'll see. Alright, next up, Karan. With Cells and Ward. Karan, you need new goalkeepers, my friend. I don't think your goalkeepers are playing. But Guardiola, Munoz, and Pedro Porro alongside Barco and Harwood Bellis in defense. Munoz. Did Munoz hasn't had preseason yet, right? Colombian. Because of Copa America. Okay, so Munoz hasn't played preseason yet because of Copa America. So he should, I don't know, maybe he'll start game week 1 potentially. They have a game on Sunday, Crystal Palace. So he might be there for Sunday. So that's the only thing to kind of keep an eye out for Munoz in terms of preseason minutes. He hasn't had any yet. Guardiola and Pedro Porro, Barco, Howard Bellis, completely fine. Barco, I don't see the hype for some reason. Maybe it's just me and being not liking the fixtures personally. But no, 4.0 option who takes set pieces, I am not going to complain, to be honest. Guardiola and Pedro Porro good. Fraser hasn't had any minutes. Would switch to the Ipswich 4.5. Midfield of Salah, Eze, Gordon, Nkunku, Hudson-Odoi, and up front you got Haaland and Isaac. I mean, that looks pretty solid. That's pretty solid. I don't mind. Don't mind starting Barco versus Everton. Start Barco, and you mean you bench Munoz? Yeah, that's actually not too bad as well if you wanted to. Barco did get, however, I will mention, he didn't start the last Brighton preseason game against QPR. Barco was benched, and they played a formation like this. So keep an eye out. Brighton play Villarreal on the 11th. So we'll find out whether Barco starts that. Doesn't start that as well. Might want to look for a different 4.0 option. Thoughts on Eze? Okay, so both Q and even Karan have Eze. My honest thoughts with Eze is I would like to wait. First of all, I think there's still transfer speculation on Eze as well, isn't there? That's a slight problem for me. The initial transfer speculation. The other thing is, me personally, I have tried my best to avoid players who have gone too long into European tournaments, as you can see, and have not had a proper preseason, because I'm not sure what fitness levels they're going to be at. So I've kind of avoided personally for myself. I don't mind it. I see the opportunity. But I've countered that opportunity personally, and I've gone Edward instead over Eze. But I don't mind it. He's a good option. Transfer speculation is a bit of a worry because he could go to maybe a Liverpool or something. Or who was he linked with? City? And then it could be a problem. So keep an eye out slightly for that. That's the only thing I would say. But the rest actually don't mind. Paco, monitor Brighton's upcoming preseason goalkeepers. Obviously, you said you're just gonna. It's just a placeholder, so it's fine. Fraser, I would switch to the Ipswich forward maybe. The Ipswich 4.5. If you're looking for a 4.5, I still your bench is quite weak. They're gonna hope your defense. You're gonna hope your starting 11 turn up properly. That's the only thing I'll mention. Bench is a bit too weak, but yeah. I'm 50-50 with Eze current. It looks like him and Kamada could be playing Eze Olise roles. Daichi Kamada is a player one to watch. Keep an eye out for. He's doing pretty well. The manager also likes him. And he's only 5.5. If I think, yes, Daichi Kamada 5.5. So keep an eye out for this guy. Could do really well in the season. All right. Next up, this one was Freddy. Freddy, I think this is your team. I think this is your team. Rohan, I need to bring your team as well, Rohan. So yours is next. This is Freddy's team with Flecken. Let me break it bigger. Oh, actually, that's too big. Can I make it slightly bigger? Yes, there we go. You have Flecken, Robertson, Murillo, Barco. Robertson, isn't he supposed to be injured or something? Or is that like confirmed, like he's fine? Robertson, Murillo, Robertson, I'll be slightly concerned about. Eze, Gordon, Hudson-Odoi, Nkuku, Salah, Isak, Haaland, Joe Pedro. I would switch to a different 5.5 given that he hasn't had any preseason minutes, I think, so far. Let me confirm that. Joe Pedro. No, Joe Pedro has not had any preseason minutes, so I would look to switch him to a different 5.5. Robinson is good. Pace, fine. Pace 4.0. I mean, it's not too bad. Fixtures aren't great though for Leicester. Spurs, Fulham, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Arsenal in like the opening 6 game weeks is not a great defensive option for Leicester. So that's the one thing I would be worried about with regards to face. Rest of the team is fine. Eze, I'm a bit 50-50 just because of the preseason thingy and transfer speculation. Hudson-Odoi, was it Combe who said about the Portuguese? Who told me they signed a new Portuguese winger from Forest? So slightly give. Also, share my team do draft next. Yes, Rohan, yours is up next, so I'll bring yours up next as well. Keep an eye out for that. Murillo is fine, defensive perspective. For Forest defender. Barco, same thing as I said for Karan as well. Keep an eye out for Barco in terms of upcoming preseason for Brighton to see whether he starts or not. Robertson, any Liverpool fans, can you tell me the situation on Robertson right now? The last thing I heard from Robertson was that he wasn't going to be fit for the start. Let me see. Don't know if that has changed. Yeah, so monitor his fitness with Robertson. Robertson's fitness, you might have to be a bit of a thing to monitor. But yeah, rest of the team looks fine. The last few seasons, GC records from the teams that were promoted from the championship were 2021, 108 goals. The goals conceded records. 2021-22 was 127, 22-23, 113 goals, and last season 161 goals. A big jump for me. I think that last season the group of teams that got promoted weren't the best, right? I think we could have all said last season that the teams at the start of the last season we would have all looked at the teams that got promoted and been like, there is a high chance that all three get relegated. I think that kind of contributes to the whole high this thing. This season, I don't think that's the same case for the teams that got promoted. I think this season's teams that have got promoted are of better quality. I think slightly better quality. Dad team drew on X, yes. Kamada, Minte, Gomez are 4 enablers. I like. Fair enough. Hamza, welcome. What is your X? I want to send you my team. Oh, it's here. Ryan underscore MS28. Right on top here. I should probably switch this to the X like handle instead of the Twitter handle still. But yeah, it's right here. Alright, so that was Freddy. Everything else looks fine. Job Pedro, phase maybe a different one potentially, unless there's a reason you're having phase. And Monitor Robertson is what I would say. Those are the 3 from your team. Is what I would say. Next, this was Hamza. Not Hamza, Rohan. I'll bring yours up as well with your team 1, team 2. But this was Connor, I think. Was this Connor? No, this was Hamza. No, this was not Hamza. This was Rohan. Rohan, I think this is your team, isn't it? This is your team 1 draft, and this is your team 2 draft, Rohan. So this is Rohan's team 1, which is Flecken, Guardiola, Dan Burn, Branthwaite, Anderson, and Howard Bellis in defense. Salah, Nkunku, Bruno Fernandes, Eze, Watkins, Haaland, Harry Winks, and Fraser and Turner in goal. Team 2 had Saliba, Dan Burn, Trent, Pickford. A lot of red. Kobe Mino, Bruno Fernandes, Salah, Odegaard, Foden, Richarlison, Watkins. Okay, team 2 is a no-go. Richarlison still injured, hasn't played preseason minutes. Foden won't start game week 1. Very unlikely to start game week 1. I mean, Pep himself has kind of said that he's gonna ease the players who come back from like European competitions slowly into the team. So Foden and Richarlison no go. Kobe Mino is not an FPL asset, so I wouldn't go there as well. I would rather spend that money on Ahmad than Kobe Mino. Fraser, you can look for another 4.5. He hasn't played any preseason minutes. Turner as well might not be the goalkeeper option, but unless you're looking for a 4 million. If you're looking for a 4 million, maybe Fabianski, but I feel like Connor, as a West Ham fan, you might be able to tell me whether Ariola looks to be set and staying. But yeah, that's the only options. I don't like team 2. Team 1, on the other hand, team 1 looks better. Guardiola, Burn, Branthwaite hasn't played preseason yet. I think it was because of an injury he hadn't played preseason. So 1 to monitor on Branthwaite. I would probably go for Mikalenko, to be honest. He just played preseason Mikalenko, got 45 minutes recently. I'll probably go for Mikalenko over Branthwaite. Don't think I would go for Branthwaite. Midfield is fine. Fraser, you can switch to another 4.5. Watkins, Haaland is fine. I would like to get a Newcastle attacker potentially. Whether that's a Gordon, a Jacob Murphy, or even a Isaac or a Watkins is what I would look at as the options. Rohan. The rest of the team is fine. Branthwaite, you can switch to Mikalenko, and you can use that money that you switch from Branthwaite to Mikalenko to potentially, if you wanted, how much money do you have in the bank with this team? Is it like no money in the bank with this team, or do you have a bit of money in the bank with this team? I am leaning on this team. Henderson, Fabianski, Luis Hall, Guardiola, Mikalenko, Ben Johnson, and Barco, Saka, San, Jota, Nkunku, Rogers, Haaland, Isaac, and Muniz. Oh, Saka. That's actually not a bad team. Amit, I actually like that team. Very interesting. Monitor Hall, obviously. And Barco. Monitor Hall and Barco, those two. The rest look actually pretty interesting. I'm still... Me personally, I'm going to ride out Arsenal's tough fixtures for the moment. But the rest actually look pretty good. I like it. I actually like that team, Amit. I might take a few players from that team potentially. Zero in the bank. I would probably look at downgrading Brandweight to Mikalenko, and then with that 0.5, you can either do rotating goalkeepers between Flecken and another goalkeeper, or you could. The cheapest Newcastle attacker is like Jacob Murphy at 5.5. So that's a bit of a problem because Harry Winks is 4.5. You could maybe upgrade Harry Winks to a 5 million midfielder. That will get you better FPL points like a Ahmad or Rogers. That is an option. Or you can upgrade Anderson to a Munoz. That's a possibility. Although he hasn't had preseason just yet. So that's one thing to keep an eye out for. Or you can keep the 0.5 in the bank. I would like to get a Newcastle attack. I feel like they have a decent set of good opening fixtures, Newcastle, from an attacking point of view. The rest of the team looks fine. Rest of the team looks completely fine. But yeah, Branthwaite is the only thing that I would probably look to switch to a Mikalenko if you wanted Everton defense. And then with the 0.5, it's up to you in terms of what to do. Fraser will switch to another 4.5 who's played, like maybe a Ipswich Ladapo. You're not going to get anyone from 4.5, but yeah. Eze to Gordon or Barnes? Oh, yes, you could do that as well. You could go Eze to Gordon. You could do Eze to Gordon. Newcastle should have another preseason game, if I'm not mistaken. They have, yes, they have 2 more preseason games, Newcastle. So maybe, is it if Gordon plays a good number of minutes in one of those 2, he could become an option. So yeah, you could do Eze to Gordon actually, Anthony Gordon. That's actually not a bad choice with that 0.5. Kendo, welcome. Alright, so that was Rohan. Up next is Connor. This is Connor's team. How's everyone doing? I am not too bad. How are you doing, Kendo? Alright, Connor, we are live with your team. So you got Pope and Turner, Watkins to Isak, and then back the other way after a few game weeks. Yes, that's also another option, which is what I was thinking. You can go Watkins to Isak, and then you can switch back to Watkins because you'll have 0.5 in the bank. So that's also something you can do. Like you avoid Aston Villa's like maybe opening 2, and then on game week 3 to game week 6, you get back onto Watkins. That is a possibility as well. Whereas Newcastle will slowly get into a slightly harder run. Not exactly hard, but tiny bit harder. So you could probably do something like that as well. Alright. This is from Connor, who's gone Pope and Turner. Dalot, Dan Burn, Trent, Pedro Porro, and Guardiola. Whew, a lot of money in the back. A lot of money in the back line. I'm a bit uncertain on United defense. There are a lot of rumors of potentially 4 transfers, maybe this week or next week for Manchester United in terms of improving midfield and defense. So it should potentially do better for Dalot. But I don't know if I will start with United defense personally. But Dan Burn, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Pedro Porro, Guardiola. Don't mind it. Nkunku, Salah, Rashford, Eze, and Gibbs White. Isak, Muniz, Watkins. Ooh, this is a no Haaland draft. Very, very interesting. When you do my team. Next, Hamza. Yours is up next. MFZ, I don't know if MFZ is still here. I have to bring MFZ's team up as well. Hamza, where did you send your team? I haven't got it just yet. I haven't received your team. Can you tell me, did you send it to the correct one? Did you put it in the... Oh, I found it. Okay, never mind. I found your team. So your team is next. Don't worry. Can you take? You can take that. That's why we are here planning to Saka to Martinelli and Muniz to Havertz as placeholders for Tony or Solanke if he gets a move. 3-4-3 is the formation to go this season. Could be 3-4-3, could be, but then always some way or the other the midfielder arrives and 3-5-2 just happens to be the one. Yeah, on your poster. Yeah, I found your team. I made a heavy 11 aside team, and the subs are just there to fill the 50 members because subs ain't giving points unless injury. That's true, but if an injury happens, then you're kind of screwed. That's the one thing. I would like to have at least one decent plain sub. Potentially, that's what I would like to have one decent plain sub. Potentially. That's just personal preference. Whose team was this? Is MFZ, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. All right. Now, this is Connor. Hopefully, Connor is still here. I probably wouldn't go Dalot. The rest of the defense is fine, but it's very expensive in defense. Midfield is fine. Isak, Muniz, Watkins. You know, after the preseason that Haaland has had, I find it so hard to go without Haaland. But I guess you can go big at the back. So the question is whether you go big at the back or do you just go and get Haaland in? Connor, thoughts? Let me know your thoughts. And while I wait for that, let me bring up Let me bring up Hamza's team. And we'll bring up MFZ as well. Where is my tweet? All right. Somerville is in for 6 million. SJ, welcome. Somerville for 6 million. Who did Somerville? Wait. Who did Somerville join? Has he joined? I mean, has been added to the game? Oh, West Ham. Connor got a new sign in. 6 million. Fixtures are a bit of a problem. That's the only thing I would say. But yeah. West Ham making moves. Fixtures are the only problem for West Ham. But I think. Somewhere around this time, we might start looking at West Ham. So we'll monitor and see how they do. All right. This was Connor's. Here is Hamza. And SJ, welcome. How's the draft looking like, SJ? This is Hamza's team, and this one is MFZ. We'll start with Hamza first. He has gone for 2B. Here we go. All right. Henderson in goal. Oops, still slightly too big. Henderson in goal. Trent, Dan Burn, Mikalenko, Harvard Bellis, Barco as the defense. Vladimir, the Brentford second keeper. I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to butcher the name. Salah, Hudson-Odoi, Nkunku, Eze, and Harry Winks as the fifth choice midfielder. Havertz, Isak, and Haaland. Ooh, different front line. Nice. I'm still not going Haaland but in Game Week 1, but it's getting harder and harder. Yes, it's getting harder and harder. An injury to Isak or Watkins and my whole squad. Yep. An injury to Isak or Watkins and you're pressing the wildcard button. You're pressing the early wildcard button. I like this. It's a different team. 3-4-3 formation. What would I change? I'm assuming there's no money in the bank. Hamza? Trent for 7 million is such a bad. That's the one thing that I've seen a lot of people put Trent in the drafts. The one thing I'm not sold on. mainly because, and I probably have slightly contradicted myself by saying this, where I said I want to see Liverpool defense, but I've gone Quanside 4.5. I feel like that's slightly a bit more. I don't know. I feel like having Salah and Haaland and Isak and Havertz, and then having Trent as well. Oof. Depends on where Trent gets. Depends on where Trent gets played. Now, Arne Slot has a tendency for his right backs to get really good attacking results. So we kind of have to wait and see in terms of Trent. He could be a really good option actually. Could also be too expensive. But I feel like we've been here before as well, where we've gone like, oh, Trent is expensive, and then he does Trent stuff, and we still look at trying to get him in. But I don't mind the structure of this team. Like Havertz offers a good third striker placeholder option. The one thing I will be a bit more careful with Havertz, and I think this goes for a lot of Arsenal players, including their defenders as well, is they've added more depth, slightly more depth to the team. Gabriel Jesus is back fit as well. They look like they're signing Merino as well. They've signed Calafori, which all leads to potential slightly more rotation among their team. That's the one thing I'll be slightly concerned about with Havertz and some of the Arsenal attackers. We might want to monitor that and see, but as a placeholder, and even maybe starting the season, he's not a bad option. Yeah. Should I get Odegaard and sell Havertz? That you could do. Because Odegaard, at least we know he's going to play because he's captain. The thing is, I owned Odegaard last season, and I thought Odegaard did really well when Arsenal were looking to press teams, and he was playing as a front two with Kai Havertz. And I think that might happen as well at the start this season because Aston Villa, Spurs, Man City, these are games where Arsenal will not have much. They'll have ball position at times, they might not have it, and they might want to press. So he's not a bad player, Odegaard, actually. I actually don't mind him. I've owned him last season for a decent amount of spells. But I think you can wait a bit more. Arsenal have another preseason game, I think. Let me check. Arsenal have two more preseason games. One against Bayer Leverkusen, and the other one against Lyon. So they have one against Leverkusen and one against Lyon. So we'll see what happens in terms of formation and where does Havertz play? Does he play in the midfield spot or does he play in the forward spot? And does Gabriel Jesus get benched and all of that? Monitor that, and then we will have a discussion again, maybe on Saturday and next Monday as well. Next Monday we'll do a stream as well, and we'll be able to find out way more information on what's the best Arsenal player to go for. But yeah, the structure of the team is fine. Trent, I'm 50-50, so I'll let you decide on that. Me personally, I'm not going for it, but see the upside as well. But I see the cons as well. So it's a 50-50 move on that one. All right, this one is FPL MFZ with Miguel Turner, Pedro Porro, Anderson, Mikalenko, Robinson, and Barco in defense. Gordon, Nkunku, Salah, Bruno Fernandes, Callum Hudson, Odoi in midfield, and Haaland, Isak, and the 4.5 Ipswich player who might get a few minutes out of all the 4.5 players that are in the game at the moment. Unless I'm missing a 4.5, which I will have a look and see if I'm missing a 4.5, but I don't think I am. Who's going to be playing games in the forward spot? But yeah. Should I get Guardiola and upgrade the rest of the team? Ooh. You mean downgrade Trent to Guardiola, and you could do that. So you can use some of the money to maybe upgrade either Harvard Bellis or Barco to a Kwanzaa if you wanted like a Liverpool defender still, right? I think Kwanzaa might play at the start, so Kwanzaa is not a bad option as well. Obviously, we can monitor and see the upcoming preseason game. If he plays that as well, he will be a pretty good option, is what I would say, Joro Kwanzaa. So 4.5, monitor and see. But you could do something like that as well. You can go to Guardiola and upgrade the rest of the team as well. All right. I actually like this team. Obviously, anything to monitor? Not really. I don't have too much to say. He's gone with 2 Forest goalkeepers because you never know which Forest goalkeeper is going to start. There is also Cells, obviously, who played in the last preseason game alongside, I think, Miguel. But yeah, which are the essential players after looking at preseason till now? Essential players. Let's actually do that. Let me try and bring this up. So, essential players. I personally think it's just that because they've done so well and it's hard to ignore, I would add Haaland in there. I would add Nkunku, who's doing really well. I will add Isak, who's having a decent preseason as well. Ten Hag had the same hype when he was coming at first. Then Club Magic is gone. Liverpool, yeah, that it could happen. Is Gabriel nailed still for Arsenal? Very good question. With the signing of California and whatnot, that could be a problem. Which is why I'm slightly worried about rotation and whatnot. With like, because Arsenal not only they have signed California, they also have Timber who's fit. So I still think there's a chance that Gabriel starts the season. But over the season, I don't know whether he'll be nailed. So because I think Arteta said that he doesn't really want to shake up a defense that was settled too much. But yeah, I don't know how long he's going to be nailed for. Luis. So yeah. Okay, so Nkunku, Haaland, Isak are my core players that I would like based on preseason. Makati. Makati? James Makati? Really? Uh, John, welcome. How is your draft looking like, John? So yeah, back to the players. Haaland, Isak, Nkunku. Um, I will add Salah in here, not because Salah has had like a insanely good preseason, but more because of the fact that Liverpool have good fixtures at the start, and I can't fully tell you which Liverpool midfielder is going to properly start. Because they still have players to come back from like who haven't featured yet, like big players haven't featured yet, and they have only one more preseason game. So I can't fully tell you which of Carvalho, Diego Jota, Luis Diaz, Saboslai. I mean, you have Curtis Jones. Saboslai is not even here. Cody Gakpo, Darwin Nunes. I can't really tell you which Liverpool player is going to be starting. So due to process of elimination, Salah has ended up on this list. Those are your 4 players that I would look at first. And then around them, I would start building your drafts. Some of the players who've been doing really well in preseason, not necessarily essential. Pedro Porro has scored 2 goals so far in preseason. Pretty on it. He's not really essential. I like him for the first 2 though. First 2 games. So Porro is one. I Who else? I don't know. Like there aren't essentials. I think there are I shouldn't add Poro here, but like Poro is a nice option. But like these four, I think are like the core, and after that you look to try and build your team of Sun, Bob, Poro, Guardiola, Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob is another, again, not essential. I'll put these guys here because I don't think they're essential. How do I remove? I can't even remove him. Can I undo? Yes, I can. So let me put him here. So Oscar Bob, I'll put him here actually. Doing well, good for probably the first two game weeks, as Phil Foden might not start the first two. Poro, good preseason, good for the first two game weeks. Fixtures after that for the next two are slightly harder in terms of they play Arsenal and they play Newcastle, so two tougher fixtures after that. Sun is also doing well. And also, to be honest, he for once out of many seasons, he has actually Sun Heung-min has actually had a proper preseason for once. Usually he's off like for tournaments or something. So for once he's had a proper preseason. So he's been looking good. I was on the Kulusevski train until they got linked with Dominic Solanke, and I'm now out of the Kulusevski train. But Kulusevski was playing as a number 9. Unfortunately, with the Solanke rumors, that's kind of out. So Poro, Bob, Sun, these are not really. Oh, and Guardiola as well, probably. These guys aren't must-haves; they are nice-to-haves. Is what I would say. Rogers at 5.0. Another, I would add Rogers, Morgan Rogers, and Amad Diallo. Both of them, I would say. Rogers and Amad Diallo. I think you can have one of them. I don't think both are absolutely necessary per se. One is a nice option to have. I've kind of come off Aston Villa because of the last couple preseason games that they've played. They have not done well. So they played Club America, lost 1-0. Played Leipzig, lost 2-0. Played Columbus Crew, lost 4-1. Obviously, preseason, things could change. They're playing two good teams in Atletico Bilbao and Dortmund up next. Let's see how they do. If Rogers does well in that, then yeah, definitely. So one to monitor. So both Rogers and Amad Diallo I will add into that list. I think we should another one to kind of monitor would be an Arsenal attacker. I think we definitely need to give them, even though the fixtures are not great, kind of monitor Havertz, Odegaard, and Martinelli as well. I will add to that list. Jakub Minte from Brighton has looked really good in preseason. So I would definitely like Minte as one as 5.5. Minte, Jacob Murphy are the two 5.5 options. Minte, Jacob Murphy, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Am I missing someone? Minte, Jacob Murphy, and Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think are the three 5.5s. Oh, and maybe I would also add Daichi Kamada to that list from Crystal Palace. I think he's also 5.5, who's had 1 goal and 2 assists in preseason. I know Leicester's Mavdidi has had 2 goals, but opening fixtures are not that great, so I probably might avoid that. But yeah, Minte, Hudson-Odoi, Daichi Kamada, Jacob Murphy, all 5.5 options that are there as well. Oscar Bob, Oscar Bob, Amad Diallo, and Rogers are like your 5.0 options, which is why I personally, to be honest, I've seen Harry Winks in quite a lot of these drafts, and I don't know if I would go Harry Winks, guys. I would look to spend that 0.5 extra and get like a better plain FPL option because there are better playing FPL options. Brennan Johnson also maybe should be given some thought as well alongside Kulusevski. Kulusevski more affordable. Yes, Kulusevski was playing number 9 as well, out of position because Richarlison is not fit. But they've been linked with Solanke, so that has kind of put me off Kulusevski. Who else? I like Edward for the start for Crystal Palace. From budget striker options, Edward, Muniz. Is there anyone else who's doing well preseason? I think Edward, Muniz. Am I missing someone else? Honestly, I know Wolves are having tough fixtures, but they're doing preseason wise, they're pretty decent. I think Chris Wood should be mentioned, but keep in mind, I think so. I initially had Chris Wood somewhere here, but with Taiwo been back in preseason and whatnot, it's kind of put me off Chris Wood a bit. But I think he will start game week 1. I'm not sure how many games he'll play though. Chris Wood, I'll add there, but not between Chris Wood, Edward, and Muniz. I would have Edward and Muniz over those two, over Chris Wood. Am I missed anyone else from the forward spots? Don't think so, right? I think those are your forward spots for the moment. Pep talked about McAtee and O'Reilly being essential. No, no. Chris Wood, yeah, that's right. So Chris Wood is the third budget striker, but I prefer Muniz and Edward over Chris Wood. Don't look at Patterson Daka. He's there just for placeholder, but yeah, not. But yeah, Edward and Muniz I like over Chris Wood at the moment. Am I missing some fixtures from budget strikers? No, I don't think so. Leicester fixtures are not great at the start, so might avoid. Ipswich, wait and see. No, I think that's basically your budget strikers. Oh, Armstrong from Southampton. Forgot to mention that as well. 5.5. Adam Armstrong from Southampton. I think I should definitely mention him as well. So your budget strikers. What about Armstrong? Yes, there you go. Thank you, Luis. But yeah, Adam Armstrong as well. Vardy, just the opening fixtures for Leicester, I don't like it too much. If the fixtures were better, which they will become, I think, after game 5 onwards. But for now, maybe not. Solanke, if he gets the move to Spurs, then yes. For the moment, no. I'm definitely butchering his name, but yes, him. Again, opening fixtures, not the best. After that, from here onwards, this is where I'm looking at Leicester players. Game week 5, 7, 8, 9, I'm definitely 10. I'm definitely looking at Leicester. Armstrong and Pence. What about Daka? I think Daka falls into the same situation as a Vardy type option in terms of the openings, like based on the opening fixtures, right? Because I'm assuming people like you guys are going to potentially wildcard somewhere game week 6, 7, or 8. Somewhere around that time is when people will look to wildcard, which is when Leicester's good run of fixtures start. So I think we can wait on Leicester and not have to jump on them right away, is what I'm thinking. Whereas Southampton have some decent options: Forest, Brentford, Ipswich, and Bournemouth for Southampton. Obviously Muniz has some good run as well at the start. We spoke about Edward with Mateta out. Decent start as well. Chris Wood, good opening fixtures. So yeah, I think there are better, slightly good opening fixtures in terms of strikers, apart from the without having to go for Leicester just yet. I think Leicester will come into the topic soon. somewhere game week 5 onwards, I think Leicester will be in the topic. What's your defense play this time? Clean sheet or attacking returns? You still want to go for attacking returns, right? Pedro Porro, Robinson. It's a mixture of clean sheet / attacking returns. Trying to find the best value is what I'm thinking at the moment. Given that BPS and everything for defense has been slightly nerfed, trying to find best value. In defense, Simikas, Barker, Hall, and Robinson. Robinson, yes. Simikas, maybe. I think Kwanzaa is probably another option if he continues to play in the next preseason as well. I think defense has so many options, guys. We've looked at so many drafts, and there are like so many different like defenders that appear. So I think defense is like open to like however way like you. I've seen big at the back. I've seen 4.5 some different teams. So I think defense is like very open this season. There's no set defender. It all depends on like who you have in your attack and midfield. So yeah, right now Salah, Haaland, Isak, Nkunku is what I would probably have, and then I would build the rest from there. And in that point, you go to the likes of you can have Guardiola or Pedro Porro or both. Huming Sun, nice. Brennan Johnson, good option. Minte, I've mentioned 5.5. I mentioned 5 millions. And 5.5 forwards. Goalkeepers, I think goalkeepers, there are only a few options. Like Crystal Palace, Forest, Brentford. And I've seen a couple like Martinez and Popes. But goalkeepers, there aren't too many options for though. Like, yeah, I've seen Flecken, seen Henderson. I've seen a few Pickfords, not as much. I think I prefer Mikalenko at the moment. Seen a few Popes. Obviously, Miguel / Turner / Cells. I think it's going to be Miguel, but yeah. So goalkeepers, there aren't that many options. Watkins is a good option over Isak. Maybe after game week 3, he could be. I think Isak has a better opening set of fixtures. Southampton, Bournemouth, and Spurs. Really good attacking fixtures for Isak. So I think Isak's first couple are really strong compared to Watkins. I think Watkins, when you look at like you mentioned first 8, when you look at Watkins 8, yeah, then but Isak has a good start over Watkins. And also Isak has had preseason. Watkins hasn't had preseason. That plays a part as well. Alright. I'm slowly losing my voice. So we'll look to slowly end it. But have I missed anything? Don't think I have, right? Okay. Just to keep you guys updated in terms of content for the week. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Sydney time, is an hour before when we started this. So that will be 9 p.m. Sydney. It will be 7 p.m. Singapore, Malaysia time, 4:30 p.m. IST in India, and 12 p.m. UK. We'll be joined with the FPL Sidenet podcast from Pete and Andrew. FPL Sidenet podcast. On Friday, I might have another stream with another guest, which I'll confirm soon once that's confirmed. And then possibly we might have one on Saturday. So that's the current schedule video content for this week. And then next Monday we'll have a stream as well, definitely. Having said that, I've just received a team from Wadi Boys just now. I'm going to bring that up as the last team to have a look at. Calvert-Lewin 6.0 is better than Wood. Calvert-Lewin is made of wheat picks, sadly. He's just never fit when you really want him to be fit. So because of that, I wouldn't go for Calvert-Lewin. We just downgrade Trent, say 1.1 million and go for Cunha 6.4, just hold Wood. Uh, downgrade trend. Say 1 million. Yeah, you can downgrade trend. Go for Kunya. I think Wolves. I think Wolves. We will get there to Wolves, but not yet. I think Wolves are a team we look at like past game week 8. The fixtures are horrible at the start. The Wolves I would avoid, but yeah. If you can read this, great show, bro. Good job. 6:32 in the morning from the United States of America. Thank you, Luis. Good morning to you. Like and subscribe. Yes, indeed. Please like and subscribe. We are closing in on 800 subscribers. I know it says shows 789 on the screen, but I think we're on 796 right now. We're like 4 subscribers away from hitting 800. So if you can tell your friends, or if you can hit the like button and subscribe as well, that'll be amazing. We'll end the stream with this team from Body Boys, with Henderson in goal. Paulson, I have no idea who Paulson is. So I'm not even going to bother. Forrest, Plain Forest. Gabriel, Guardiola, Pedro Porro, Barco, and Konsa in defense. Salah, Saka, Eze, Gibbs White, Armstrong, and Nkunku in midfield. Watkins and Isak with no Haaland. I mean, not too bad to be honest. I still would probably want a City attacker. But it's not too bad. I mean, I don't mind actually, instead of Gibbs White, even going for like an Oscar Bob if you're not going to get Haaland for the first 2 game weeks at least, and then switching to someone else potentially. I'm not against that, to be honest. Start like with Oscar Bob, who's had a really good preseason, to get like a City attacker, especially for like game week 2 against Ipswich. And also given Chelsea's current defense, it might be a good option. Defense is fine. Gabriel, slight worry. Arsenal defense in general, slight worry in terms of rotation. Not that they're a bad defense, but rotation slightly problem. And opening fixtures still not that great, but they might do well, to be honest. Still, Guardiola, Paro, fine. Barco, monitor Barco in terms of next preseason game as well, whether he starts or not. And Konsa hasn't had preseason yet though, but I think he might start. Midfield is fine. Forwards, yeah. I would like to have Haaland in there, but I can understand that no Haaland as well. Cool. I will end it there. This is my draft. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this draft for the moment. Like I said, Haaland, Isak, Nkunku, and Salah the only confirmed ones. The rest for me is still open, up to change and whatnot. But yeah, we'll end it there. So shout out to Luis, Kanav, Amit, John, Bob, Combe, Kendo, Hamza, SJ, Freddy, Rohan, Quentin, Karan, Amit, Joseph, FPL MFZ, Shubharan, Plowboy, Connor, Kanav, and everyone else who's been watching. Thank you very much. Grealish or Doku to start for City. I think Grealish looks good again. Probably will be Grealish, to be honest. He's been playing more preseason, right? So I think it'll be Grealish. Will be Grealish for the start, and then after that, we'll see what happens. Did Grealish play this one? Yes, he did. So yeah, I think Grealish might be the one. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Enjoy, whether good morning to you, good evening to you, or even good night. Have a good day. Have a good week. I will see you all tomorrow for the podcast with the FPL SideNet lads, who've just released their own podcast just now today. So go have a look on that. You can find that on the audio platforms, Spotify, and where and where not. But tomorrow I will see you all for that stream. Have a good one. Have a good day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're closing in on 800 subscribers, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out, everyone. Thank you, and have a good day.